This long bladder meridian really can show us what's happening in your body and each of your organ systems. Get kind of a whole body sneak peek of what's happening, and we can do so much good work just working down on the back. So this right side of your back is holding in tension a little bit differently from how the left side does. The right side's more of the yang side. Particularly during pregnancy, I really love building kidney chi and working with the kidney and bladder to keep waters of the body flowing really nicely and balanced. Just giving a little extra attention to the adrenal here. Now that the two lung sides are pretty well balanced, we can do some of the lung points and a little more of the lymphatic work through here. Just gently working on a gallbladder point. Don't want to overdo anything on the gallbladder meridian, at least at this point. Hi Semide.
Hi Will.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really glad you're able to come in today for this session. And yeah, I just wanted to welcome you finally to the space, and just want you to feel really comfortable while you're here. And so anything that you need, or if there's any way that can make you feel really just right and at home, just let me know, okay?
Thanks so much, yeah.
Great. And yeah, so I just wanted to check in for a couple minutes and see how you're feeling today, what's up, kind of what brings you in for a session, and if you have any questions about integrative acupressure too.
Oh yeah, was very drawn to integrative acupressure. I know a lot about just like regular acupressure that I learned at school, in naturopathic school, but never like experienced integrative acupressure before, so I'm super excited. I guess the main kind of concerns that I'm having right now is kind of related to my pregnancy, and so 16 weeks pregnant right now,
16,
and
okay.
yeah, and struggling with a lot of digestive stuff, so a lot of like spleen chi issues, some stomach chi issues as well when it comes to like, you know, that rebellious chi. And then the other issue is I do have rheumatoid arthritis, and I've been finding that like, I was hoping that it would go into remission during pregnancy, but it hasn't yet. It might never, I'm not sure. But these kind of thunderstorms that we're having, and also kind of just like the stress of travel and all those things have been bringing on my joint pain. Like I noticed it this morning, there's a little bit in my fingers right now, and my ankles. So there's that, and I've also been dealing with some skin issues. So I've noticed that like mosquito bites and bug bites, like the scars just kind of remain for a long time. So I've had mosquito bites that like I got back in September last year that are like still there, and the scars are still there. I'm not quite sure what's going on with my immune system and like just my whole lung chi and all of that. I feel like it's more compromised even before the pregnancy, and I imagine now with the pregnancy it's probably even more compromised.
Yeah, it gets a little suppressed during pregnancy for sure. Okay.
So those are kind of like the main issues right now.
Great. Thanks so much for sharing all that. Yeah, it's wonderful. And I definitely think we can address each of those aspects with today's session. So a little bit about integrative acupressure and kind of how I tend to work. The modality itself is kind of new, developed in the 80s and 90s, but it really takes from the tradition of acupressure in kind of a pure form, and kind of supplements with some different balancing and release techniques. So a little bit of cranial release is involved, and depending on what your needs are as the session goes, we might do some lymphatic release. Sometimes that can be quite helpful actually for the spleen as well. And I might do a little bit of palpation, but with your pregnancy, it might just be limited to checking on the spleen, maybe checking on the liver, and a little bit of digestive stuff. But just a small amount of energy work can be nice just in that area. And then, some reflexology on the feet is often great. But a lot of it is just about kind of sensing balance and places in your body that are a little out of balance or congested, and trying to just really find that homeostatic, happy place for each of the meridians, and seeing where things might be a little bit stuck and need a shift. So there's kind of like an energetic side to integrative acupressure and a somewhat structural side, where I might look at the pelvis a bit, and if there's a little off shift, can kind of work to ease that balance. And the same thing in a number of different structures that we'll look at too. But it's sort of combining these pieces, and the thing that really I love and struck me and made me like grab on to integrative acupressure, different from like acupuncture, is that I can really be assessing and making changes in the second, as we go. It's not just a one-time read and hoping I get like a good pathway of points and such. I can really see how the energy is responding to what we do, and even start to follow in what becomes almost an intuitive way of following the energy and seeing what needs a little bit of support.
That's really cool. It's like a real-time monitoring of like what the energies are doing in the meridians, and definitely very different from what I'm used to. But like the little pieces that you're saying, like with the cranial The cranial work, I've experienced that. I've experienced the lymphatic drainage, and I've experienced acupuncture and acupressure. So it's like, it'll be so cool to see all that come together. So I'm excited.
Oh, great. Yeah, it's usually like really seamless and just sort of transitions to whatever's most needed in the moment, which is what I love.
Cool. All right, I'm ready.
Okay, great. So I'm going to start with you face down in this face cradle, and I have a couple of pillows here. And I think one might be nice to maybe place like kind of on your hips. Yeah, give your belly a little bit of space. And then you can see if another pillow maybe on the chest would be helpful as well.
Okay.
Okay? Great, yeah. All right, just settling in. Taking a couple of nice breaths, long breaths in. That's it. Just noticing your breath. I'm starting just by doing a little assessment down your back and bladder meridian. Just letting yourself become settled little by little. With all this travel and movement and the heat wave, I think it's good just to find some nice quiet downtime, and so I'm really glad you were able to come in for this. Just starting to check each of these bladder shoe points and noticing a little bit of congestion around the spleen into the adrenal. But nothing for you to do but just really sink in and feel really calm and this long bladder meridian really can show us what's happening in your body and each of your organ systems. Get kind of a whole body sneak peek of what's happening, and we can do so much good work just working down on the back. Yeah, feeling some of that adrenal tension, just noticing it and taking some nice breaths down. A lot of my job is just finding ways to let your nervous system find balance. And that can happen in a lot of different ways. We have this exponentially complex, amazing system. So just give it a little nudge, and your system will start to respond and find really healthy ways to come back. So this right side of your back is holding in tension a little bit differently from how the left side does. The right side's more of the yang side, so energetically a little bit more of the, if right now is a little more of, having to be pushing, or when you're traveling, sometimes that yin energy has to work a little harder, and contrasting that with the left side, it's just could use a little bolstering. It's a little bit more hollow. And so part of that is just kind of finding ways for some of the stagnant energy that's been holding here on the right side to find its way out. That's great. All you need to do is just stay with your breath. I really like repeating over these center points a number of times, using a little bit of a different kind of touch each time. And seeing how things start to release after just a short while. Good. Already feeling more balanced. So I'm going to start to check on the sacrum and make sure your pelvis is really straight on. Feels pretty straight, maybe a little bit of tugging from this lower right side. Finding some of the lower bladder points along the sacrum. This feels good. I'll check from the other side as well. So this left side's a little bit bunched together. And sometimes when our adrenal, especially on this yin left-hand side, is not quite able to store and nourish chi in the way that it really wants to, over a period of time it starts to kind of pull and even kind of condense in a way, and everything gets a little bit pulled together and tries to contain its energy. So just try to bring some spaciousness there and allow for the influx of some really good energy from the right side and other parts that we're releasing. Working more on some of these nervous system points now that are towards the upper part of this bladder meridian. From the heart and pericardium, diaphragm and lungs. Some small intestine points on the edge of the scapula, which tend to do a good job of holding on to some built up stress for us. So they do their job for a long time and then we give them some relief. To start working on a couple of the heart meridian points in the arms. You might be able to just subtly notice your heart energy, kind of finding some balance, a little bit of calm. So just regulate the flow of chi here a little bit more. all feels really good. That's great, Semide. Move down and do a little bit of work on your legs. Particularly during pregnancy, I really love building kidney chi and working with the kidney and bladders to keep waters of the body flowing really nicely and balanced. It's hard to overwork the kidney chi. There's tend to always be able to handle a little more assistance. Some really great hormonal and reproductive kidney points down around the ankle. This would be some nice points that you could even work on yourself at home. Just gentle work around the ankle. Come down to the kidney reflexology point. Really nourishing these yin meridians during pregnancy. Got a whole lot of convergence of the yin lines in the lower part of the inside leg. Mm-hmm. Feeling a little bit of that right adrenal and kidney as well in the foot we were talking about earlier, just a little bit taxed. Finding all those good ways to slow down and stay nourished. Just giving a little extra attention to the adrenal here. That's better. Spleen plays an important role in regulating the immune system. And often with rheumatoid arthritis, you see a little bit of spleens calls out for more attention. That's great, Semide. So when you're ready, you can start to turn over onto your back, and we'll work on the front side a little more. So just palpating around the spleen. Now palpating left kidney. And there's the right kidney. Starting to do some work on the lungs. At the same time, we can do some work on the lymph. Starting to get the lymph activated a little, and these are our most important lymphatic drainage ducts up here on the collarbone, particularly on the left side. A lot of changes happen around lymphatics with moms and as the baby's developing, and especially as it's getting closer and once it's breastfeeding. Noticing a little bit of lung congestion that helping to move through. Good for hormonal balancing throughout the pregnancy. Really nice one to do on yourself or a loved one can do for you. Now that the two lung sides are pretty well balanced, we can do some of the lung points and a little more of the lymphatic work through here. So this whole area that houses the lymphatics, there's so much right in here. For the nervous system, it's the whole brachial plexus, all the outgoing nerves here, and the vagus nerve even passes down through under the collarbone. That's great. So starting to notice some of the cranial structures and checking on the vertebrae. gently working on a gallbladder point. Don't want to overdo anything on the gallbladder meridian, at least at this point. Just following that lymph pathway down once again. Just coming back to the shoulder blades. Beginning just a short series called the shoulder release. Just helping the neck and shoulders to find some space. Very gently with gallbladder 20. All feels good. Vertebrae are feeling nice and balanced. Seems like a little bit of cranial work might be nice. Just noticing, just very gently at the back of the occiput. Really nice place to release for any old sort of chronic stress. Any kind of headache stuff, Even some digestive issues get a little relief here. Just applying enough pressure to find the cerebral spinal fluid flow. Just feeling it now. Breathing in and breathing out. Just helping it find its rhythm in a really nice way. Really nice and balanced. It's great. Just gonna move up here to the temples, and check on the sphenoid bone and balance some of the cranial bones. Just a very small amount of tugging on the left lower corner. So just sit with it for a few moments. Give it our conscious awareness and breath. There it goes, just starting to release. Let it unwind itself a little more. It can come up a little bit higher. Start to create a little bit of movement within the sutures so the bones can have a little bit of spaciousness. Just close up the sutures. Semide, just take your time. You're all set.
Thank you so much. I feel like jello.
It's a nice feeling.
Yeah, it's incredible. Every time I get craniosacral work, it just like helps my RA so much. Just like totally resets everything. Sometimes when I'm in the worst pain or like fatigue, it just, yeah, it's amazing. It's like magic.
It is magic. Good. Well, you can just stay with that feeling and bring it with you for your day.
Yeah, thank you.
Wherever it brings you.